Dude, I had a quesadilla tonight at the restaurant. It was so good.
Yo.
Where'd you eat it?
Jalapeno quesadilla. It had steak, chicken, jalapenos, onions in it.
Oh, steak and chicken?
Steak and chicken.
That's the wombo combo.
That goes crazy, bro.
What was that?
Someone got a train in their house?
Yeah, bro. The train goes right by my apartment, bro.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
We've never
I've
heard
never heard that before.
It's like literally 30, maybe 40 feet away from me right now.
What? I
You guys
didn't.
didn't notice the train track before?
No, I didn't
No.
It's
remember.
like right outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
How
30
cheap is
feet
your
is
apartment?
generous.
It's like just under 1,000 a month. So.
Yeah, that's pretty good for one bedroom. Explains why.
I don't
Take it
remember
back.
there being a train like when we were staying there.
Me and Sam slept there.
The train usually comes by at about 11 p.m. and then on and off throughout like the day, depending. But there's almost always one at about 11.
Does it wake you up at any time?
Nah. I usually sleep through it.
Yeah, I don't
might-
remember that when we stayed there for boys trip.
Yeah.
Dude, Miller
That's
Cop's
pretty
eyes
close
like
to-
bleeding.
What?
One of our basketball players just got like jabbed in the eye, and now his eye is like full of blood.
Shit.
Does that hurt? Having your eye just like
Yes.
bleeding? No, like 'cause
Yeah,
you know,
it
there's
hurts
some people.
initially, but not like over time.
Yeah, because like you know, it stays in your eye a while.
Yeah, it's not a constant pain.
Your mom's a constant pain.
True.
Oh.
Dude.
Get fucking wrecked, nerd. Sam, you are not joining us for this
For what?
this game.
No. I'll be in a couple games time.
Alright.
Okay.
You're being dummy cute right now, bro.
Well,
Do cats be doing that?
should we...
Wait. They have Piccolo's new transformation, but not Gohan's?
Bro, what?
L.
Then I'm getting.
L.
They really didn't add the new Gohan?
No, it's just... Yeah, it's base form and then Super Saiyan.
Alright, well...
It would have been cooler if it was like nice dressed Gohan.
Put him in like a formal suit.
Or Super Saiyan Man?
Saiyaman would be cool. I do love the closed beam armor, though.
Who's starting us off?
Alright. So nothing happened this week of note.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Who's saying it?
Oh. DC did get a new slate of movies, though. We could talk about that.
It's not real.
True, scratch that.
James Gunn doesn't exist.
Dude, we all know that the Snyderverse is continuing on Netflix.
Okay, James Gunn
Based.
dyes his hair, right?
Welcome back to the Off the
No.
Board podcast, where we
He
have
does
never
not.
missed
just
an
old.
introduction.
No, there is no shot
Why would he dye his
that his hair is that white, even if he's old.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't buy it. I think it's just,
That's
how
just
it
like
looks.
eggshell white, bro.
I'm gonna
If
search
it
hair
is-
on his Twitter.
If it isn't dyed, it turned white really fast, because it didn't look like that until, I'd say, like a couple year ago to 2 years ago.
Yeah. Even then, like most old people, they have like gray hair.
Not like white hair.
The only
I'm
thing
on
he's
team
talked
he
about.
dyes it.
The only
That's a
thing.
White Walker white for sure.
No, it's not fully white.
Dude, it's white as fuck.
It's not fully white. Look at his head. It's a little
Looking him
dark.
up right now.
I'm watching the video of him saying the DC reveals. It's not that. It's white, but like people can have white hair. How old is he?
56.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
old enough
50.
to have that hair. Also, look at the roots.
Bro.
The roots look darker.
Bro,
Whoops.
the fucking like Leslie
That's
Nielsen,
dyed hair.
dude. Like Leslie Nielsen had fucking like white hair throughout his whole life. People can have.
Check the roots, bro. The roots don't lie.
Yeah, no.
Why would you want to dye it white?
I mean, if it's
I mean,
starting to
it-
get white anyways,
It looks kind of cool.
and it does look good, yeah.
I'm not saying it looks bad. It's just unnatural for sure.
And
I
also,
don't
if you're an
know.
old person who dyes your hair like if people have seen your graying hair and then you dye your hair darker, they're like, oh, he's trying to retain youth. But if you dye your hair
Dye it
white, and
white.
you got Pierce's going, why'd he dye his hair white? They don't accuse you of trying to be younger.
You're just like, what the fuck?
Did he accuse you of trying to be younger? or he's trying to be older?
He might. Maybe he's looking. Maybe he wants those wisdom points. I don't know.
Anyways, he said some stuff.
Bro, that's what your teeth are for.
I don't remember all the stuff he said.
Projects.
Anyone got a list?
Exclamation point.
Well, first, obviously the stuff we do know, everything this year is going to. Okay, so it seems like everything they said. It seems like all the movie. I mean, Shazam 2, not technically because it's before the reboot, but like all the other movies, like it's going to reboot into the DCU. It's not like they're not just going to be completely disconnected. But is that confirmed, or because I was thinking about, because he said that Aquaman will lead directly into Superman, but
He said it'd lead
Does he-
directly into the rest of the DCU stuff.
does he mean that in terms of like story wise it will, or just the fact that is the last film before the new DCU stuff?
See, the conspiracy that I was talking about before the pod, I think it's bullshit. I think that there will be no connection between Aquaman 2 and the rest of the DCU. I think he's just saying that for now, because if you're an executive at Warner Brothers, you're not going to be like, oh well, yeah, go and advertise your new DC universe and tell us all about how it's like going to be completely disconnected from the films that are coming out this year and still need to make money.
Well,
I feel like
I mean that they kind of did that by default with Shazam 2 by saying that, because Shazam 2 is before the reset, so.
But
Why
he
bother?
also, even with that, he added a caveat where he's like, well, it's always been, and he specifically said, it's always been kind of in its own pocket of the DC universe. And he's like, and then The Flash will reset things, and then Aquaman will continue the story. And especially with, talks of, Jason Momoa becoming potentially Lobo.
Oh, that, James Gunn did say, he did confirm that people will not be playing multiple characters.
Right.
And in the same one, they did also say that they want that Jason Momoa will have his Aquaman trilogy.
They confirmed that much?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
I don't know. Yeah. I think...
So Jason Momoa. So it sounds like Aquaman 2 still is, if they're planning a third one. And if he's still Aquaman, then that means he's not Lobo, because they said that one actor won't play two characters.
Yeah, we'll see. Because everything leading up to this is suggesting that it's going to be a hard reboot, and maybe it's not. Maybe it really will be a soft reboot, and they'll keep.
I think it would just. I think
threads
it
from
would
that
be.
old past.
I think it would just be smart to keep it a soft reboot, because then, I mean, obviously, like what you said, that's, obviously you want people to want to go see these movies this year, but you want to still give those movies worth beyond that. Like, what's the point of them no matter what if they're not even going to connect, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's going to bother.
It's just,
So
yeah.
I think
I don't
it
know.
probably will
I think
be.
it's-
And
I think you-
plus there were reports of, I was just reading it before, it was like right before you joined, I think. Reports of they're scrapping all of the cameos. That there was going to be a bunch of cameos at the end of the movie that teased people like Keaton Batman coming back, Supergirl, or that version of Supergirl returning, um, stuff like that, like Affleck Batman, stuff like that, and replacing it with something that will like lead into the DCU.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. It's all strange. I feel like you run the risk of confusing people if you muddle them too much. I think a hard reboot is just so much easier for general audiences to grasp versus being like, well, it's a multiverse and things
Well,
are
I
like
don't-
crossing over.
I would
and
say
confused, and
that.
some things were erased and some things weren't.
I would say that, but like that's kind of how things are right now. Is everything's in the multiverse. I think people understand the multiverse now. I don't think that's a confusing concept for casual moviegoers.
No, but we've still never, even in the MCU, had anything like a crisis event, which is seeming like it's what this is kind of working up to.
I
be,
wish
the
I
Flash.
wish that they would have just made a crisis movie to
Like,
because it just would have been
in-
cool.
The thing that confuses me about like letting Aquaman carry on, if you're gonna do that, why not take Henry Cavill back then? If he had agreed to do it, but he's not. Even if you want to go in a young direction, he's not a super old actor. You can age him down. I would
have a theory about.
I would have liked them to have stuck with him. If they're gonna go with Momoa and if they're gonna keep threads of the old DCEU in it, then I would have liked to have seen Cavill continue.
I have
yeah,
a theory
I think Batman
about
had
that.
to change, but he was already signed on. Like he had agreed to do it.
So, Peacemaker is confirmed to be canon still because the Waller series is. They said it takes place between seasons 1 and 2, so like that, all that stuff's still happening. And when the Justice League show up, Aquaman and Flash are the two that like for a fact who those actors are. You can't tell like who Superman is at all, really, and you can't really tell who Wonder Woman is. So that stuff makes it easier to just be like, yeah, this was actually in the new continuity all along, or something like that.
But then they'd have to bring Ezra Miller back, which like
What
I can't
they've
imagine
been
them
talking
actually
about.
doing that.
I just
No
don't want.
way.
I just don't.
Yeah, no way.
Aside from all the stuff, it's just.
Bro,
I just
aside
think
from
there
all
are
the
better-
stuff, there's a lot to say when it comes to Ezra Miller.
I
There
just
was
think
a lot of stuff.
I would prefer someone else. They aren't
Yeah.
someone that I'm like, man, they're the perfect Flash.
I
No.
liked them as the Flash. I thought they were great, but like I'm not gonna be able to get over the whole like weird Manson family farm thing he did or they did.
I just thought they were annoying. I mean, and that's not like I like the scene from Zack Snyder's Justice League, the most cheerworthy moment in all of cinema.
Yes.
But that could have worked with any other. Like it's just the character that it works with, not his performance. I feel like he's still got his goofy ass run that I hate. Like the Flash's
where he's,
run.
like, stumble running.
Yeah. Why does he run like that? Like the Flash in the Zack Snyder in the Snyderverse runs like he's I don't know, how do you describe it?
It's like he's running on Jello.
It's like he's skating.
Cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Wally West, bring him in.
Yes. That would be the
Or
perfect way.
Jay Garrick.
to-
You're skipping
Bro,
over the OG here.
No, we don't care about Jay Garrick.
They should have put Jay Garrick. Oh wait, you know who we're not talking about? Who hasn't been brought up and mentioned in all this noise about, like, you know, who's continuing forward in canon and who's not. Justice for the Rock, bro. Keep Black Adam in the DCU.
Well, he said,
Please,
okay,
no.
both James Gunn and The Rock's statements for when they said that, like, they weren't going forward with it sounded very open-ended. Like if Black Adam is in the DCU, he'll be played by The Rock, just like not the same version of the character.
Yeah, James Gunn. I don't remember if it was in Gunn's or like The Rock's tweet, but they were like, we don't see Black Adam in, this phase of the DCU. It was something like that.
Yeah,
So,
The Rock was like,
left it open
The
for him
Rock
to come
said
back.
that James Gunn told him that Black Adam is not part of this chapter of the DCU. Which, also, this stuff that they revealed isn't even like the whole chapter. It's just a part of it. It's just like the first couple years.
Yep, sounds like it's gonna be a pretty massive phase 1.
So, they haven't revealed the dates for anything besides the Batman 2 and Superman Legacy. I'm assuming that animated show that he talked about first is going to probably come next year, because otherwise there's nothing in 2024 at all.
Well, I think we're also getting Waller in 2024 now.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he said that was the next thing. So that'll be before Superman as well. And Themyscira as well before Superman, I think.
Ooh. That.
Or the Paradise Lost, the Themyscira story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
Themyscira is a
So,
story.
younger Superman, but
So-
not an origin.
Good. Actually, I was excited because when he was talking about Superman Legacy, he used a panel from All-Star Superman, which is, in my opinion, it's my favorite Superman comics. I think it's one of the best Superman runs ever. And hopefully that's like, we know that he wants to do like a more optimistic take on Superman, a more traditional take, but that story is so good. It exemplifies that so well. It's essentially like, what if Superman was gonna die in like a week, and like he had to set everything right on the Earth. And not only, like, usually Superman, like, optimistic, he can save the day, but not only that, like, he's got to set up the world to move on without him. And it's just like, it's the best, most hopeful Superman story, and I hope that's the.
I think
the
it would have
vibe
been
they're going
if they're pulling from that. Well, I think they would have said if they were
Obviously, I
pulling
don't
from
think
that
that's
because
the storyline they're going with, because they're not going to kill Superman in his first movie. But I'm just hoping that that's the kind of tone that they capture, the whimsical.
I mean, they could do that story and then not have him die.
Yeah.
But I think they would have said it, because he would say when like stuff pulled from comic books, like how that Supergirl movie is specifically based off.
I do not think that they're going with that at all. I hope.
No.
I'm excited that that's the type of Superman they're trying to capture. Is what that tells me. They want to capture that version of Superman that's in All-Star Superman, which is like the ultimate optimist, the ultimate like
what Superman's supposed to be.
Right. It's the most Superman.
And
It's
then
so cool. Hopefully
there
we see that
was-
story in live action someday.
There was the Lanterns show.
That sounds interesting.
They said it's going to be like a big event, like a big HBO, like your premium HBO shows.
Okay.
So I think that's probably going to be pretty good. It's nice to have both Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Yes.
We haven't seen a live action Jon Stewart, have we?
Nope.
No.
I mean, the only Hal Jordan we got's been Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
And it's like Space Cops. I think that should be good.
Yeah, I like how they describe it, like a buddy cop.
What was
precinct is Earth?
What's the team up, the team movie?
I think it started with an A.
Authority?
I've never
The
heard of
Authority.
Authority.
It sounded cool. I can't tell you the premise off the top of my head, but like I remember thinking that it sounded cool. I'm sure it'll
Basically
be good.
sounded like the Justice Lords from that one Justice League movie.
There was. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head.
Creature Commandos. Anyone have any thoughts on that? That's what we mentioned as the first one.
That's the animated
Yeah,
one.
It
I
looked like it was
noticed.
gonna
I noticed
have
Weasel.
in it.
Yeah.
I think I recognize someone else. I'd have to see the picture again.
Which I'm assuming means that Suicide Squad will be semi-canon. Well, I mean, if Peacemaker is, then
If Peacemaker's canon, I assume the Suicide Squad is canon.
and then
Let's talk about the Brave and the Bold, because I think I have a hot take on this one.
what's that?
But I'll let you guys go first. What are your thoughts on it?
I want to hear your hot take.
Damian Wayne is the last Robin I would have chosen.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I trust that. But also because of that, I would only choose him last because he's the one I'm least familiar with. And that's just because of a lack of exposure. So maybe after this, I think that's the last one I would have chose, but I'm kind of glad that it's the last one I would have chose because now I get to experience something that I typically don't. I
just feel like Damian, he comes in the story he comes in Batman's life at like a later period.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of baggage.
He's the youngest Robin, so I'm hopeful that him being the Robin means that the other ones all exist and have been Robins before and are.
They said that
Yes.
other members of the Bat family will be in the movie.
But
Ooh.
still, like, jumping straight into Batman and his biological son, like, you've skipped over the, like, his relationship with Talia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
how
they could-
Damian comes about. Like, and I'd, like, are we going to start with him in this assassin role, and then this movie is him coming, like, because Damian is raised an assassin by the League of Assassins, and then Batman's like kind of goal is to like take like I don't know like deprogram him, I guess.
Mhm.
Are we gonna get that, or is it just I don't know? It's a weird place to jump in for the first Batman story. So I would have gone with like even if you go with like a Jason Todd or. Who's the third one?
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake, yeah, like one of those two, where you can have like a Nightwing exist, and then also have one of the, the.
I was
younger
hoping for.
Robins.
I was hoping for Tim Drake Robin. That's
Tim
what I
Drake's probably
wanted.
my least favorite Robin, but I think he
Hmm.
makes more sense than Damian.
Yes.
If you're choosing, if you're talking about a Batman story with an already established, because they said he's been doing this 8 to 10 years. If you're coming in with like a well-established Batman, I think that Tim Drake is the perfect point, because then you can have Nightwing. Because everyone knows who Dick Grayson is. Like, it makes sense to have him as Robin, but because everyone knows who he is, you could just skip to him being Nightwing. Like everyone knows he was Robin, and then you could have Jason Todd have already been dead, or I mean, you could have gone in with Jason Todd and done his thing too. But I like Tim Drake because he kind of out of all of the Robins, I feel like he's the one that would most likely grow up to be Batman.
Tim
Like
Drake,
all the other ones kind of like have their own thing that they dislike. They disagree with Batman, and Tim Drake seems to be the one that's most like he understands Batman's mission. He understands, depending on obviously where you're falling into the Tim Drake timeline.
if I recall my Tim Drake like history correctly, he's kind of the course correct Robin after people didn't like Jason Todd.
Yeah.
And they killed
Yes.
Jason Todd.
Yes.
And because of that, I think he's pretty much a carbon copy of Dick Grayson. I think he was also like a trapeze kid.
No. I don't
They
Is that not true?
no.
Jason Todd.
Jason Todd
was a
no.
thief.
Jason Todd was. Jason Todd was, but when they did Crisis, they remade it to the Thief.
Okay.
No. Tim Drake Tim Drake became Robin. He's not an orphan or anything. He became Robin because he figured out Batman and Robin's identities because he went to see he saw the Flying Graysons, and then like later in life he saw Nightwing,
Dick Grayson.
he saw Robin, and he did the same exact type of flip that Dick did in the Flying Graysons. That like it's like a near impossible flip to do, and he like deduced that he was Dick Grayson, which meant that Batman was most likely Bruce Wayne because Dick Grayson is his adopted son. Maybe see. I wonder if they're, starting with Damian. I wonder if they're going to have it to where he's still the fourth Robin, or if like he's the second or third Robin, and like maybe they do the Robins. I think that Dick's going to be Nightwing in it, no matter what. I think that we're gonna
imagine they're gonna do. It'd be so confusing to say like, this is the first Batman movie. This is Robin, but he's the fourth. I think you're right on with saying like he's gonna be I think he'll be the second.
Yeah.
Or third. At most third. Like maybe like Jason Todd gets mentioned as like, oh, there was that middle one that got killed.
I mean, for a while, for the longest time, like when Jason Todd was dead, and people didn't care for him, they like most interpretations and adaptations and stuff would just skip over Jason Todd until they developed the Red Hood stuff, and then they started incorporating him. Because the animated series just doesn't even have Jason Todd at all. It just goes from Dick to Tim.
Maybe
because he wasn't. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just like you bringing up Red Hood, just like. It would make, honestly, the Red Hood story would make a lot of sense with Damian, because if you say Batman rescues Damian from this life as an assassin, and then like Damian gets taken by the Joker.
Wait, are you saying
to near death?
You're saying Damian becomes Red Hood?
If Damian became Red Hood, that would make a lot of sense, like in the long term, because it would.
I don't know
if he gets beaten to like because. Jason going from Robin to like a killer, I think makes less sense than a former assassin turned Robin reverting to assassin would make.
I don't know. I don't think DC is weirdly protective of Batman stuff. I don't know if they would like switch things up like that, especially with like just having something like Gotham Knights where you have Jason Todd, Red Hood.
I don't know, man. Dark Knight universe, Robin.
All
He's
right.
named Robin, bro.
Yeah. But to be fair, that is the one blemish with like his character. Like if his name was just Dick Grayson or even like just anything, just name him any of the Robins, like he works as like a pseudo Robin for the movie. But they fucking named him. Oh my! Why'd you
Bro.
remind me of that?
It's my least favorite movie fact that he was initially, the reveal was that he was going to say, "My name is Dick Grayson." And the test audiences were too fucking dull, I guess, or hadn't done their homework. And so they changed it. It's it's not
crazy
only
that
yeah, go ahead.
that would 100% work now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you said Dick Grayson now, like everyone would get it.
Or at least if they wouldn't get it, they'd look it up because they'd know like, oh, that's supposed to be a thing, you know. And I
Yeah.
think even
If they
probably
really
that would have
cared-
been the case.
If they really cared, they'd look it up.
I mean, that was around the time of the Avengers that movie came out. So
Yeah, 2012.
They could have done it. They should have done it then too, because that was even at that point. Like people were like at the point. It's like at least comic movie fans were at the point where like, oh, you know, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna figure out who this character that they teased was.
We also got to remember that this is DC's trying to be their version of the MCU, and if there's anything we've learned about the MCU, it's that the MCU like becomes the face of those, or like that universe becomes the face of those characters, like that to the point where even the comics start to draw stuff from the movies because the movies are so popular that like it kind of that's why people want like good adaptions of stuff in movies, because that is like the thing that is the thing that everyone sees, so you want a good interpretation of it. So I feel like maybe they wouldn't give as much leniency to the basic lore of the comic stuff because they want people to know like, yeah, this is Batman. Even if they switch up like I think switching up the Order of the Robins would be like the most they would do. I don't think like they would make him Red Hood.
Mark my words, everyone's gonna know Damian Wayne as Red Hood in 20 years.
That'd be crazy.
I'm not saying it would be a bad decision. I just don't know if it would happen.
I think it would. I mean, there's so even in Marvel, there's a lot of that stuff that has changed so drastically from the comics that we take for granted that maybe someone before would have said would never have happened. I think it's not like a crazy change. I think it just makes just enough sense to stick, especially if Jason Todd already exists in the universe, definitely not. But if Jason Todd doesn't exist and it's just Damian and Dick, I think it makes sense. And then maybe you could bring in Jason as the next one after he becomes Red Hood.
Bro, how stupid was it in the fucking Snyderverse that they had Dick be the one that Joker killed and not Jason?
Was that confirmed?
Yeah, that's supposed to be Dick Grayson.
Bro.
That's so dumb.
Like, bro, Jason Todd's entire existence now is to be the one that dies. And you don't use the one Robin that is known for being dead?
But then again, maybe like that's the way to go, because that was like a big thing. Like we were talking. You played through the Arkham games recently, and like being like going back, putting myself in like the mindset before Arkham Knight came out. Like everyone who was just like, yeah, this is Jason Todd. They're doing the Red Hood story. Like it's too predictable at this point. So yeah, I think like making one of the other Robins the one to die at least gives it a bit more.
Well, I would
like,
argue that like that's not even the point of the story. Like the mystery of it isn't even the point of the story anymore.
Nah, but
like that's just like the journey to get to the Red Hood character. That's just that whole thing is just his origin story.
Yeah.
Like I feel like on like yeah, you can't use it as like a mystery thing anymore.
But also, like, I don't think there's anything so special about Jason that's like, yeah, he's the one who has to die. I do
The
think
thing that's special
Dick
about
should
him
be
is
Nightwing.
that he's the one that
Always.
has to die. That's what's special about him.
Tim
He's
can
the one,
die. Fuck Tim.
bro.
Tim
He's
is
bi.
lame.
He's
Love
bi,
Tim.
bro.
He's bi?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You're literally.
Isn't Nightwing by?
Oh, I didn't know that. He's actually pretty cool.
I mean,
I
no,
don't
he's
think
still
Nightwing
lame as fuck.
is-
I didn't know he was bi.
Yeah,
Tim
he was
is-
in a relationship with with what's his name? One of the Clark boys. One of the Kent boys.
Oh, he's the one who
Steve.
fucked the like Superman clone.
Oh,
Sure. Yes, Connor. Yeah, he was in a relationship. Or I think it
Oh,
was
okay.
No
This
way. Are
dude,
they...
that made Fox News. I think that was so. If I'm thinking of the right like comic story, that shit,
Most of that stuff
shit
makes-
popped off.
most stuff like that makes Fox News.
They were like, can you believe they made Superman gay?
Were people mad that Robin was gay? Because like,
I think
Come on.
Superman was the big headline, but
Yeah.
because let's be real
I'm
with
sure they
Robin,
were
like
too.
that character in general screams gay. So
Yeah.
bro runs around in colorful tights, not even like dark
Oh.
brooding ones like Batman. Bro does not look terrifying at all.
I'll respect Tim.
Only a gay would walk with the Red Robin costume on, bro.
Dude, the red, yellow, and green costume. It's vibrant.
Bro, it's so perfect. It's so crazy because like it just works. I never think about like that he's just out of place when he's walking around with Batman.
Yeah, I think about it often.
No, but that's like the point, though, you know? Batman wanted a sidekick that got all the attention, so Batman could be doing shit.
You think Batman was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this kid, right? And he's gonna be dressed very colorfully so that the
So
people
that he
with
attracts
guns
all the
shoot at
attention.
him.
Yes, bro. I think Batman fully did that.
Yeah, you're onto
Nah.
something.
I'm just glad that we're finally like getting Robin stuff in movies again because I feel like that is just like an essential part of Batman. Like if like not an individual
Yeah.
story, like he doesn't have to be in every Batman movie or every Batman story, but like in an overarching like universe of Batman, you have to have Robin. Cuz he shows the humanity in Batman whether it's the good side of him or the bad side of him. It always shows like the humanity. That he's not just a emotionless monster.
Batman and Robin scared executives from putting Robin in the big screen for literally
For
3
real.
decades.
For real. Hey, he thrived in animation.
True.
They were gonna have who were they gonna have? There was gonna be a Robin in Batman Batman Returns. Who the fuck was it gonna be? It was those twins that they made White Chicks?
I
what-
don't know them.
What's their names? They're like the Wayne brothers?
Oh, yeah. I know. They also made The Matrix. Right?
What?
And-
No,
What?
what the fuck is their name? They made
That's the Wachowski
it's like
sisters.
it's like the black twins, like the black brothers. One of them was going to be Robin in Batman Returns. In
Never seen White Chicks.
White
Is it good?
Chicks. I don't remember. Yeah, the Waynes. It was the Waynes brothers.
Dude, that would have been impressive for the time. And I feel like the backlash to that idea would be more intense today than it would have been then. Which is crazy.
I think he was going to be. I'm looking this up. How do you guys feel about the name? Yeah, he was gonna and he was potentially Riddler in Batman Forever. What about the title Brave and the Bold?
Love it. A super underrated Batman animation. Check it out.
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
Pierce
Well,
Wheat
it's
died, by
named
the way.
after. Damn. Well, it's named after the comic. The thing because like the comic, The Brave and the Bold is more like what the Batman show was based on. Like, it seems like the Batman Brave and the Bold show takes more name of the Brave and the Bold in terms of how it is in comics than the movie. And let's go to the lobby.
Okay.
I've never
'Cause
read the comic.
The
but the premise
comics,
of
I
the
haven't
show-
read it, but the premise of the comics is that each one is a team up.
Yeah.
And that's the show. And I mean, but the name also kind of works in terms of you think of like Bruce and Damien, like maybe Bruce is the brave and Damien's the
Damien's
bold
the
because
bold.
he's
But also, there might be a bunch of other characters in that movie. At that point, we're working with a lot of.
yeah. If it is a 8 to 10 year Batman, there's going to be a lot of like history going on there.
I'm good to go, by the way.
I was hoping for
Okay.
and maybe they might do it, but I was hoping for like a Batman that was kind of well into his thing, and like I was hoping for it to be kind of similar to like how the Arkham verse is, because I feel like the Arkham verse, obviously it's not live action, but I feel like it's the best interpretation of, or like it is what a live action, it's the best live action esque interpretation of the Batman universe. I feel like it compared to comics, like it keeps the realism and the history, or like it keeps the realism of live action and stuff like that, but it still has all the history and like some of the like goofiness that comes with it, and that they play it straight.
Yeah.
And I really hope that this universe is like that. And I also hope that it has a good Batman voice. I don't want a stupid voice modulator. I don't want like this, like blah, 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 blah. I want one like Kevin Conroy's that was just like a bold, like confident voice. Which is like I'm Batman. Like he
Jensen
sounds
Ackles, and I agree with you.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
Jensen Ackles would go off as Batman. That's my fan cast for Batman.
No shade against Robert Pattinson though.
Well, he's still going.
Yeah.
They got they gave a date for the Batman Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Also, it would be cool. Yes, Michael Beaton Catman. Michael Keaton Batman returning would be cool in Flash. I also think it would be cool if Michael Keaton played Thomas Wayne as an old Batman who kills people.
That would be cool.
I'd prefer like a Ben Affleck to be like that,
No.
because
Well, Ben Affleck is the Batman in that movie.
oh yeah, well yeah, I guess.
Well, if you're going Flashpoint, it's Thomas Wayne. That's the
it
murderer
seemed-
Batman. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan played Thomas Wayne in.
See that
and that would
that's
be
a
really
cast.
good.
Yeah.
That's-
Oh, true.
I see people like do like fan like photoshops of like the scene like, or like Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the Flashpoint Batman suit. It would work. Like it seems like they're doing Flashpoint
Maybe skip
like
the Martha Wayne becomes the Joker part.
I thought
Yeah.
that was interesting, but
Mm.
like it was interesting. I don't think she should have became the Joker, but like to just have her go insane while he, like focuses his rage.
Yeah.
But
Give
it seems like
me.
they're doing like a weird half adaptation. Like we're not getting like Thomas Wayne Batman, we're getting Michael Keaton Batman, and he's the same Batman as he was in I almost said Danny Elfman movies, in the Tim Burton movies.
That's
There's like
interesting.
an alternate universe where Zod won in Man of Steel, and Supergirl came, and Dark Flash is there, and because why not Reverse
Who
Flash?
even is Dark
I
Flash?
Venom Tree Bark Flash. I don't think he's a
it's Barry
character.
Allen. It's not a yeah. I don't think it's not based in comics. There's a Black Flash in comics, but it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, give me Henry Cavill as Batman, cowards.
I'd be
That'd be
down.
something.
That'd be
I would
sick.
be down. I
Huge
would be
dick
down
move.
with that. Booster Gold.
That is a very James Gunn character to go with for the first
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah.
I learned about him from Raven the Bold, and like in everything I've seen, like every iteration of him I've seen, he's kind of just like a buffoon who like had access to time travel materials, and so like he just takes a bunch of future tech and brings it back to the past to seem like a superhero, like what we'd all do. It's just like
Yeah.
a concept with a lot of potential. I'm excited for that.
I'm sure a lot of Snyderverse fans are upset about there being a bunch of projects about smaller characters.
Are there though? Because that's one for sure, and definitely the
The Authority and the animated
Authority.
show. And Swamp Thing kinda. But like
kind of. But we are getting the big three plus Green Lantern. I don't think there's too much for people to complain about.
Swamp Thing, he said, is going to be totally different from the DCU. So it sounds like they are going to do
Yeah, he said
genuine,
it'd be like horrific.
like genuine horror, which is something they promised with like Multiverse of Madness and didn't get. So it'd be nice to actually have someone follow through on that. But the Batman 2, what do you guys hope from it? The Penguin series is gonna like lead into it.
Is that still happening?
Yeah,
I forgot.
yeah.
about
It's.
that.
I think
also
it's starting
forgot about
production. There was just something that came out about Colin Farrell talking about it starting soon.
I heard
What
rumblings
villain?
about Clayface.
That is,
And
they're doing they're doing a
Yeah.
Clayface movie
I
or
love
side
that.
side project. Whether I don't know whether it's a movie or show, but they're doing Clayface, Professor Pig, and someone else I don't remember for like standalone things.
Man Bat.
Oh.
That'll be
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Another underrated.
Man Bat would work really well for like horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's anything like if it brings the same amount of emotion with it as like the Arkham Knight missions, then it'll be a really great movie. Because like for in
What about in
Arkham,
Gotham Knights?
he do be just dead at the beginning of the game though. But like Arkham Knight, he like for just a side mission, the whole cutscene of him like breaking down because he killed his wife is like so well acted and like so well like the emotion is there. I'd love to see something like that in a live action movie. Just like a really tragic Batman movie mixed with horror elements.
You know, it'd be cool, but would also be like way too much Batman right now.
What?
TV show adaptation of the Arkham series.
That would be sick. Like live
That
action?
would be sick.
Yeah,
That'd be sick. I'd be down.
do like one game a season, like how Last of Us is doing it.
But I don't know because technically, you got to remember, like technically, every single one of those games takes place in one night. I feel like to do a whole season, you would literally like. Actually, you know what? That might be cool because if you were gonna do a whole season, then the show would literally have to be moving in real time.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna do a whole season and let's just say each night took place over 12 hours, even though it was probably more like 8 to 10 hours. I don't know. Actually, 8 to 10 hours work perfectly, an hour an episode. But then, like, you got to think about, what about cuts and stuff like that? I think they would work more as movies. There is still that Cape Crusader animated show in development. It's just not going on HBO. But it's supposed to be like a spiritual successor to the animated series. So there's going to be a lot of content coming forward.
What we'd love to see.
And of course, the Gotham Knights TV show. Can't forget about that. You all
Titans
excited
season
for?
5.
Are you guys excited for the daughter of Joker?
Of course.
The what?
She's one of the characters, and that's her name, the daughter of
Awesome.
Joker. She's actually Two-Face's kid.
Goofy.
Yeah, Titans and Doom Patrol were canceled.
Rip.
Wait, they were?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
but their last seasons are being written with finality. The last seasons are being
Okay.
written with that in mind, so they're not going to like end on a cliffhanger.
That's good, at
Yeah.
least.
Which
Plus, like I don't remember if it's the or at least one of the Doom Patrol writers is working on Waller.
yeah, and someone from Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you haven't
Plus,
watched,
Doom Patrol is like a perfect James Gunn team. So I imagine there's a definite possibility that we see them again in some form.
have them in the DCU. That'd be hype. But yeah, if you haven't watched Doom Patrol, watch Doom Patrol. It's fire.
Sucks that those shows are getting canceled, though.
I haven't seen Titans, so I don't know anything about it.
Titans is alright.
It's bad, but I love it.
Oh, what's there to love about it?
It's just stupid, and that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to give it a watch.
Bro, I was gonna say I've been watching I've season 4 of Titans has been releasing, so I've been watching it, and like, man, the transition from season 3 to 4 just feels so abrupt. I don't know.
What was the end of season 3? I don't remember.
They like had that whole shit go down in Gotham where Dick Grayson dies, and then they bring him back with the Lazarus Pit, and then
Oh yeah.
Jason Todd was also brought back with the Lazarus Pit, and they just kind of
Wait, they did it at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But then Jason Todd like comes back with Dick Grayson, and they drive out Scarecrow. And
I did hear that they like super fast did the Red Hood story.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like Jason didn't it it was Batman's death that like caused Jason to become Red Hood and not Jason dying and being resurrected?
What?
No.
Or
Jason.
was this the second time Jason came back at the end?
Wait,
Yeah.
there should not be this many
Jason dies at like the
questions.
beginning of the whole arc because yeah, obviously Joker kills him, and then Batman goes and kills Joker, and
Oh, shit.
Scarecrow brings back Jason.
Okay.
Batman killed Joker?
Because Scarecrow knew about the Lazarus Pit for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, well, like, didn't, like, Batman, like, quote-unquote kill himself after he killed the Joker, and then it turns out he wasn't actually dead?
Okay, no, he did try to burn down a mansion while he was inside of it, but Donna Troy rescued him because she found her own way back from the dead and ended up in that house for
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
reason.
Who else died? Cyborg? Someone
No,
died.
That's a lot going.
Tim Drake was
Tim
dead.
Drake.
Tim
too.
Drake
Man,
died?
what
Not
the
Cyborg.
fuck?
Bro, they just killed every single Robin on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for some reason he came back too because like he found a way out of
He found
limbo or
Donna
whatever
He
it
found a
Troy.
way out of
And-
hell.
Yeah, no, because Hawk was
Drake
there
went to
waiting for
hell.
Donna Troy
He's bi.
and Tim Drake, and he somehow knew about a way back.
He's bi. That's not welcome
Yeah.
to heaven. Dude,
Yeah, shit
I
was
gotta
crazy.
watch this show. This sounds so stupid. I just remembered all the people shitting on it when it was first revealed because they had that trailer where Robin was like, "Fuck Batman" or something like that, and everyone was like,
He
"Oh, great,
does say
edgy,
that.
edgy
It's
Robin."
so cringe.
And there was
Yeah.
like an episode where like they like I don't know. That show is like I've
It's goofy.
so little kept up with it. Anything else we missed with DC?
I don't think so.
What did you mean when you said that water equaled lava?
Okay. So you know how lava starts out as like rock and then it gets super hot
Because it
and
does
then it
not
turns into
equal.
lava.
I mean, water does turn into kind of a
Ice
rock, though. Yeah.
Is technically a mineral. So when ice gets hot, it turns into water, which is basically just lava.
No,
ice.
it's not. Water is not.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's
you
right.
cannot sink. You cannot sink in lava.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. I just saw a thing about it. Lava is too like dense to sink in. You'll just
Is
and you'll
that
just
the metric
you'll just
for what
burn
makes
alive,
it lava?
and you'll just burn alive.
Okay, it's still liquid rock.
True.
It's not the
Oh.
same. Milk does not equal water.
It's just different minerals.
What? That's because they're completely.
Yeah,
But it's a
milk and water
liquid.
are completely different.
But it's a It's a liquid.
Yeah, but milk isn't a liquid that came from a solid like that. It didn't come.
It
from
came from a
mineral, bro.
cow.
Yeah, but it
It's
didn't
a
come from
solid.
mineral, bro.
Okay, what about almond? What about
This man
almond
goes,
juice?
cows are solids.
What about almond juice?
Bro, you have to milk the
Pierce,
almond.
if iron is melted, is that also lava?
Iron? No,
Yeah.
I don't
If
think
it's
that's
melted down,
lava.
then what is it?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking rock scientist. I'm not a metal
Molten
scientist.
metal.
Yeah, it's molten metal.
So then water is molten ice.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Molten means hot. Molten means hot. I'd assume.
I mean, hotter than it was.
and by
Yeah.
the way,
Water is hot ice.
What is hot, bro?
water is not hot ice.
Hot is relative.
Define hot.
Yes, it is.
fine hot.
Well, I would assume
Oh my
if
gosh.
molten is used in that sense, then there is probably a definition of what is considered molten.
There's not a temperature of what that makes it considered for molten to be used. It's just a liquid form, molten definition.
Yeah, I was gonna say if only we had machines to deliver us.
So
these
since
definitions.
liquid water is rock (parentheses ice parentheses) that is molten (parentheses liquefied by heat parentheses) water is magma.
What?
I just
What were all
looked it
the
up, and
parentheses?
that's the option.
What were all the parentheses?
Just like saying that ice is the rock, and that like
How is ice rock?
it becomes molten because it is liquefied by heat, and that therefore makes water magma.
Okay, but
Ice is
all
rock
right.
because it's considered a mineral, because when you have water with minerals in it and it freezes them all up in there, you get those good.
I don't
There
buy
are
it.
ice volcanoes on a few ice moons in the solar system. There
Yeah,
are
Bro.
planets where that
Let's go
base
there.
temperature is shifted so much to where water becomes like lava, essentially. So,
Bro, there are like literal ice mountains on Pluto.
Dude,
Whoa.
Ice Mountain? Do not take
Yo.
Sam there.
God, yeah, bro, I'll throw a fucking fit.
Dude, I'd fucking
Yeah,
love
there
to
was
live
some.
in
There's
Ice
also
Mountain.
some. I don't remember which planet it is, but one of the planets, its bedrock is ice.
Pluto?
It might have been.
I think it's Pluto.
Pluto got kicked off the planet list, bro.
Remember when
It's a
that happened?
dwarf planet.
Yeah, that was fucked, honestly.
That was a
I'm
big
still
deal.
Still not down with that.
Bro, it's literally so small. It's like the size of our moon.
But
if
what
not
about its
smaller.
fucking feelings, bro? What if you were just down, like, you know, like, you're important, but never mind. We changed your mind. You're not important anymore. How would you feel?
Bro, it's not so much a change of importance as it is like a...
You're gonna tell
like-
me that being a planet is
It's a
less
dwarf
important
planet
than being
still.
a dwarf planet, bro?
And it's still one of the most interesting objects in the solar system, in particular because of its orbit with Charon.
They didn't have to do that, bro. They didn't have to downgrade it.
Yeah.
They did, bro. It's necessary to maintain the integrity
Bro,
of
our
the
solar
definition of
system
planet.
really be contained within the Oort cloud, bro.
It really do. Well, technically the Oort cloud is just a theory, but yeah.
We don't have any proof?
No. we
What the
can't
fuck is
absorb-
the Oort cloud? What's it made out of?
It's the idea that there's all this like
Oorts.
debris and dust and ice that's like on the very outskirts of our solar system that kind of like
And that's
shields
so
us from
far, too.
interstellar particles. Yeah, it's so far. It's like on the edge of the sun's gravity well. So, it's yeah.
Shout out space. I really wanted to talk about, there was a post, I don't know if this is real or not. Ethan just sent it on Instagram, and it was a village in some like European country where all of the inhabitants, all of the civilians in that village are dementia patients. And like there are people that like there are like workers there whose jobs it is to keep their lives as normal as possible or something. Well, let me look it up. Let me look it
That's
up
insane.
and read it.
Yeah, it's basically it's like an old folks home, but it's an entire town, and it's committed to people with dementia are put
A
there.
secured village
it's
in the
in Norway.
Netherlands. A secured
Netherlands.
village in the Netherlands specifically for people with dementia where they can act out a normal life while being monitored and assisted by caretakers in disguise.
Yep.
That's freaky.
I don't know if that's
The
real,
Truman Show, bro.
but like, is that, Ethan asked the question, is that ethical?
It's real.
No. I don't
It's
think
not
They
ethical?
so.
consented to it.
Well, I don't. It seems deceptive.
Yeah, but what's think about what the other option for their life is. Sitting in a nursing home, not like knowing anything. You just be
Yeah.
doing the same thing over here. They get to live out their lives. They get to live out
Like,
lives, and they're
lied
still
to
getting
about their
taken.
lives.
No one said they're lied to. They can just live out normal lives,
But what does
and
that
they're just
mean?
assisted. I don't know.
Caretakers in disguise as like normal people that like know like
Like they can go to the
It's like-
store and stuff. I don't
Or
know.
like they wake up and do a different role play every day. Is that
I mean, they just go about doing their thing as dementia patients.
Nah, I don't know. There's something weird
It says
and
that the
Black
benefit-
Mirror about this.
The benefit, it said that the benefit is that the patients with dementia are more active and require less medication.
Interesting.
I mean, yeah.
Because they're out there doing things using the connections in their
It
brain,
has a
probably.
town square, a supermarket, a hairdressing salon, a theater, a pub, and a cafe/restaurant, as well as
Oh,
23 houses themselves.
I'm picturing like like intermediate school kids go to like Biz Town or like the fake little town that they run. Like it's just that, but a bunch of people who don't know where they are.
The doctors, nurses,
Or
and
who they
carers
are.
aim to make the experience as real as possible to the residents. Residents shop at the supermarket and assist with prepping and cooking as they would at home. The carers wear normal daytime clothing rather than clinical clothing and fit into a role that the people living with dementia are likely to be comfortable with. In a working class household, the carers are seen to be neighbors or carers, while in the aristocratic upper class setting, the nurses act akin to servants.
Yikes.
Whoa! They got class. They still have classes in the retirement village.
I
Bro,
got
what the
gold
fuck?
tier subscription to the dementia village, bro.
The living
If you're gonna
styles
do
have
this,
different
it's
types of music playing, significantly varied interior design, food, and methods of table setting. Residents in each house have their own large bedroom and meet with other residents to share the living room, kitchen, and dining room. The village employs 250 staff.
Whoa.
If you're gonna do this,
The
like, if
staff
you're gonna
will
lie
not
to 'em
deceive.
anyways,
No, the staff will not deceive the patients if directly asked, truthfully stating that the residents are in a place where they can receive required care for their condition. Because
They're
of
not
their
lying.
nature, because of the nature of Alzheimer's and dementia, the residents can remember the distant past, but not the present. So even truthful answers given by the staff will be forgotten quickly.
Yeah, okay, so it's like it doesn't even fucking matter if we lie to them. If we tell them the truth, they're gonna forget it. It made us create like a fantasy land, like.
They're not creating a fantasy. They're
No,
just
no,
like
they. That's what
giving-
I'm saying.
they're
They
just li-
should do.
Ah.
Make it fun, whatever. Like if you're gonna lie to them, but it's fine because they're gonna forget anyways, or like it doesn't even matter if you tell the truth or lie because they're gonna forget it, and all they're gonna remember is the old stuff. Like, just have them convinced they're living in like a real life Disney world.
the Wikipedia page has a criticism section. And the only thing it says, this is all it says in the criticism section. The setting has been compared to that depicted in the film The Truman Show. That's it. But all it is it's just a nursing home, except they get to live normal lives. They're not trapped in a home their whole time.
Yeah.
Because it's a village. It's not like they're going out and driving to the store. They probably all live within walking distance of the town square that probably has all of the buildings that they go to in it.
True.
Would you? Fuck
I'm
with
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
I would.
course.
I say that the boys go to Dementia Village.
Hell yeah.
Not when we have dementia, like right now.
See
We
what's
could do
up.
both.
Telling everybody that JFK's alive and he's got their families.
This is a really interesting thing. Just the fact that this exists.
Dementia Village goes crazy, bro.
Okay, so why were Gandhi and Hitler friends, Ethan?
Bro,
Yeah.
yeah, so I was just like looking at articles on Google as I do, and I saw this article about a letter that Gandhi had written to Hitler in like it was like just before the start of World War II, like 1938 or early 1939. And he just like he writes to him and he's like, "Hey, a lot of my friends and colleagues have told me to write to you because of the current circumstances in Europe. I have largely resisted them because I don't feel like it's my place, but it does seem to me that you are the one man with the power to prevent a war that could reduce humanity to a savage state." And then he just kind of like meanders on about the topic for a little bit, and then he's just ultimately like, "I hope I haven't erred in writing you, and I hope you forgive me if I have. Sincerely, your friend, Gandhi."
Bro, you clickbaited the shit out of us. This with Gandhi
Yeah.
and Hitler were friends? Question mark. But Gandhi was writing to Hitler to try and prevent him from going to war, or like making the war worse.
Imagine Gandhi reaches out to you to tell you you're wrong, and you're just like, I'm still gonna do this.
To be fair, was Gandhi a top G at the time?
Yeah,
Was he a budding G?
1938, like by that point he'd had like success with nonviolent protests. Keep in mind, like Britain relinquished control of India in 1948. Like Gandhi was making progress in headroads at the time.
Yeah, it's a Hitler L then for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Any other topics? Oh, I had one I wanted to talk about real quick. I was just thinking
Slow
about it.
ass car.
Oh, yo, bro, I forgot. That's not what I was going to talk about, but I gotta talk about this. Okay, so last night we were coming home from work, and we were at a stoplight behind a car, and the turns green, and they took forever to like they were going so slow when they took off, and I was like, bro, come on. So I passed them, and then we went to Wendy's. All right, went through, got my food, and then we got stopped at the next stoplight after Wendy's. Bro, we were behind the same people. They were so slow that we went through the entire Wendy's drive-through before they got to the second light.
Bro, what?
Or no, it wasn't. It would have been the light after. So like
Two
the
lights
Wendy's.
down.
Yeah. So the Wendy's was in between. The Wendy's was after that first light we got stopped, and then there was a light after that, and then we got stuck behind them at that light. But they're not. The moral of the story is they're not that far. These people were going so slow that we literally caught up to them at the next light. But anyways,
That's insane.
and it was. I was thinking about how ever since COVID, like even after like all the restrictions eased up, I have not I never eat inside of like fast food restaurants or like
The
fast
menu.
or like fast casual restaurants, stuff like that. Like I will always go for the drive-through or do takeout.
Yeah, same.
I was that way before COVID.
I wasn't before like Steak and Shake. I would always eat inside at Steak and Shake, but now I just always go through the drive-through.
Like unless like someone was with me that like really wanted to go in, or I was with like a group of friends, then I would always hit up the drive-through.
I mean, fast food places I was typically always drive through, but stuff that's more like fast casual, like a Steak and Shake or like Five Guys, stuff like that, I typically eat in. But like even now, like if we're bowling and we get Five Guys, we're most likely taking it back to wherever we're bowling at. When
True.
back in the day, we would have been eating inside of the Five Guys.
To be fair, there are more things we can do Not in public.
I was gonna
Yeah, well,
say, that's
no,
because
no.
we smoke weed now.
No, but you can smoke weed before you go to a restaurant. Like, you can smoke weed
Yeah,
in
but
the
then
car
someone's
and stuff
gotta
like that.
drive, or you gotta risk it.
Yeah, but then
doing
that turns
shit
into a
in
Cracker
public.
Barrel situation.
That is a very
terrifying.
good. That is a
the
very good
Cracker
point.
Barrel.
That is a very good point. I didn't think about the fact that since COVID hit, we were all not only we all smoke weed, but like we have all become the legal age for like substances in general. So
Mhm.
like,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean like, but even so, like places like
Pull
Steak
out a
and
couple
Shake.
of Pabst at the McDonald's.
I used to always hate going in the drive-through at Steak and Shake, but now that's all I use.
Stan said
I
all
would
you
hate the-
use the drive-through.
I'm definitely
Drive-through
on-
was always faster at Shake and Shake, though.
True.
Like, service was always like an hour at Steak and Shake before you got your food.
Dude, sitting down at a Steak and Shake was just a fucking mistake.
It's part of the
Might have-
experience, bro.
Mistaken shake.
A mistaken shake. Shut up. Sam, back to the lobby, bro.
Oh yeah.
But like we went inside a McDonald's the other day because the line was so long, and so we were like, just going inside will be quicker. And like it just
Was
brought
it
back
quicker?
memory. It was, but it just brought back memories of like I used to eat in like when I was a kid, we ate inside McDonald's all the time whenever we went to McDonald's. Like we always ate
Really?
inside.
That was never us.
Like when I was a kid. And, like-
Sometimes when I was a kid.
But like now I'd never even consider it. Also, the touchscreen kiosks are fucking fire, bro.
Yes,
Inside.
bro.
Those things are fire. But
Nobel Prize award for whoever invented that.
I'll still
What were you saying,
normally
Sam?
eat inside of Five Guys, or like a Cane's, like what you're calling like those casual, like cheap casual dining places. Usually, I'll eat inside
Mhm.
there. I'd never
again,
really
only
eat
if I'm with
inside at
people.
fast food. So, yeah, that wasn't a big change for me.
like the only time I'd probably consider it would be like if I'm on like a road trip or something. And it's like, we want to stop.
Yeah, sit down, take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No shot we were taking Bojangles to go, bro.
Nah.
No
I mean, we
shot.
did. We did. We got.
Bowberry biscuits.
Did we hit?
yeah.
We
That
hit
was
up.
different.
We hit
That
up.
was extra.
We hit up Bojangles on the way back too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
I'm the dude
That
that
was fire.
remember-
Take me back.
The first time when they tried to give me a second order of Bowberry biscuits, and I was like, no.
Dude, what was wrong with you?
Ah.
We could have literally
It was
had a
so
free
sad.
thing of Bowberry biscuits, and you said no.
I was like, oh, those aren't for me.
Damn. All right. Any other topics?
Bro, are you guys the type that even though you wouldn't eat inside at a fast food place, I'll totally get the fast food and then go eat it in the parking lot?
When I was in high school, I would do that sometimes.
Not really.
But I grew out of
Yeah.
that.
Typically, I'll just at that point, I'd rather just go home.
Yeah, same.
I would do that, like if I was like driving down to Bloomington and I wanted to get McDonald's, I would get like two McDoubles. I would eat one in the parking lot, and then like while I'm on the highway, I'd eat the other one.
Thank
Yeah, I typically just if I'm gonna eat in the car, it'll be on the road.
Oh, and then like if I got like Taco Bell or something, like something that I wasn't like I don't think I could eat a Taco Bell taco with one hand while driving without making a mess.
Yeah.
So I'd eat that in the parking lot.
I avoid eating and driving when I can. It stresses me out.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Bro,
sounds like you're
especially-
lame, bro.
No, especially since I've been driving stick. Like, whenever I try to eat and drive now, it's such a juggling game. I never know.
Dude, why would you even drive stick, bro? That's such an L.
It's entertaining, and girls think I'm sexy for it.
Hey, I can't argue with that.
Bitches love Emmanuel.
All right.
Are we ready for our wands?
I have a feeling that like we probably
Yes, I'll go
are
first.
thinking.
The Last of Us. Let's just we'll make
Do we
this our
wanna-
collective one, a separate
Yeah.
one from the rest. Let's talk a bit about The Last of
This will
Us.
just be it. It's just a topic at this point.
Yeah.
But we
Such
got
a
it.
great show. Oh
It
my
probably
God.
the best adaptation of anything ever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, hands down.
And we're only 3 episodes
Nick
in.
Offerman,
Yeah.
more like Nick offers his cock to men.
Nah, bro. He was not offering. He was timidly
That's
he was timidly going along with it. It was so
Bro, I was worried that like after the sex scene he was gonna like immediately regret it.
Yeah, I was
I
also
didn't-
a little worried.
Bro did not.
we
seem
should
that into
probably
it.
just say spoilers.
Oh yeah. Spoilers. Gay sex.
Spoilers for all of The Last of Us. I wasn't expecting Bill to also die because I knew he was alive in the. Or I don't know his whole story in the games. I know like all the gay stuff isn't there. He calls Frank his partner, but like, and that could be construed to just mean his
Yeah.
but like
The only-
literal partner.
The only other like evidence was that Ellie grabs a porno mag from Bill's place and it's got dudes on the cover.
Ah, like in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't expect because I knew Frank was gonna die, but I didn't expect it to happen like that, and I didn't expect Bill to also go with him.
Yeah.
I had no idea about them dying. Also, spoilers.
We already said that.
Oh, missed this. Yeah.
It's also funny that like the anti-gay crowd is like booing the episode when it's like it shows
This is the
like,
most normal
conserva-
depiction of.
that. It also shows like paranoid white conservatives in like a positive light.
No,
Yeah.
no, it
He's
doesn't.
doing
No,
extremely
it
well
doesn't.
for himself.
Not to them. It's not a positive light because he's gay. That's the. I was
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when I was watching it. Like, they probably hate this because, he's depicted as like a conservative type person, but he's gay. They probably feel like it's
Targeting them.
targeting them.
Mhm.
Or it's supposed to be like, "Hi, you guys are gay, nerds,
Bro,
I
gay."
also just I found it funny how Frank like knew Bill was gay after cooking him dinner. It's like,
Yeah.
Bro, we all
He moved
knew.
it.
paired
I-
the right wine with rabbit, and he was like, "I know this guy's
Bill
gay."
was not slick.
No, bro.
Bro,
It was the
really
piano.
on
It was
that
the
man.
piano that it was the like sheet music that did him in because he was like this
Sealed
one's
the deal.
he was like this one's yours.
Yeah, but also Joel likes Linda. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Maybe Joel is kind of gay.
Bro, wait, is he in the games?
I
don't know.
I doubt it.
I want
No one talked about it.
out they make him gay.
Do you guys think that they're gonna kill him the same way they do next season? Do you think because like if they're following part 2 the same way that if they're trying to be faithful, is the first episode just gonna have Joel die? Because I feel
I
like
don't
that.
think so.
I feel like in TV that
No
would
way.
be satisfying. I feel like it'd be much. I feel like in a TV sense, it would be much better to go in chronological order instead of like doing flashbacks and stuff like that, like they did in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they'll stick to that with what we've seen so far.
Because you gotta like everyone loves Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
Dude, like,
I love paper
when
cuts.
he like, I was just feeling so much like stress when before the apocalypse happened, and he came back, and I just felt safe.
I believe it was Neil Druckmann that said that they believe that the second Last of Us is 2 seasons worth of television. So I think we'll get 3 seasons total before a pause waiting for the next game. And I think if they do that, that gives them more room to do build up to the death. And
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
think
also
that's
it
what
just
they
gives them
do.
time to make the third game. That way, they don't have to pause production and wait for the third game. Because like maybe by the
True.
time because we don't know or do we know when season 2's coming out, or do we just know it's confirmed?
No, we just
Because
know they're doing it.
because with the schedules that seasons 2 and 3 go on, if they do split them into 2, it could lead perfectly into having the third game out by then, and then going on the do season 4.
Mm.
And they said they're not going past the games. So, and I'm assuming they want to just. I would assume that they probably are doing just a trilogy of games.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like something they want to like carry on. This seems
drag
very
out.
like story driven. So like they'll end it when it needs to be ended, and not
Mhm.
keep going. But like, this shit was so good. We never have to play The Last of Us now.
Yeah, episode 3 was like seriously one of the best, like the most compelling love stories ever committed to film. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
Just the whole like dynamic
It's
of the
'cause
whole
there's-
thing,
just because there's 2 throbbing cocks, you know.
like having, like not just like their relationship, but also like where they live. Like they have a whole gated off town basically. And like I love that argument they have where like he wants to like decorate. Frank wants to like keep up the rest of the town to keep everything
"I'm
else
gonna-"
looking nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wants to fix the boutique shop and everything. Like, bro. Ah.
It just felt believable.
Bro, when
They were eating strawberries, get a giggling, bro.
Yes.
Mhm. Bro, at the scene where they're the last scene where they're eating dinner, I was thinking like it would be so awkward to do all of this and then to also like go around the house and like turn off all the lights, get the deflame all the candles, and then just be like, all right, bedtime.
Time
Well, they
to
didn't
die.
shut off. They didn't
Did
shut
it
off
end-
the
Yeah,
light.
they didn't.
Did it like?
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
oh yeah, I was gonna say. Then it showed like they didn't they didn't put the plates in the dishwasher because everything was moldy.
Well, they
And
didn't
then,
have to.
all the candles were burned down.
Yeah, why would you? I wouldn't give a fuck, especially like if you're in the apocalypse. Like, yeah, and like the note suggested, like only Joel's probably gonna show up.
Mhm.
Like, who gives? Fuck it. We're not doing the dishes. We're gonna go, die.
Go
I'm
die
not
in
gonna
peace.
do some chores right
Yeah.
before I die, bro.
Okay, but
did
why
any
did-
of
my
you-
final moments doing
Why?
chores?
Okay, but why did Frank look like Jordan Peterson?
Oh,
He did.
bro, why'd you just say that?
Like specifically wheelchair Frank.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, like he like spitting image, bro.
You're right,
Give him, yeah.
bro. That's
That's
like
tough.
that's Jordan Peterson if Jordan Peterson allowed himself to like live his life and
Yeah,
not like deny his whims.
I'm pretty
He was
sure I
just-
saw. I'm pretty sure I saw a video of like footage of The Last of Us and like their love story mixed over like one of his things about men.
Jordan's, yeah, Frank is like what Jordan could have been if he had just embraced it.
Speaking of a little side tangent, just real quick, did you guys see his steak thing he posted on Twitter?
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah.
Peterson?
So yeah, okay. So someone posted a tweet
Yeah.
that it was Japanese A5 Wagyu How would you guys cook this beauty? And this is what Jordan Peterson said. Freeze it, then air fry at 450. Drain the fat, add a little water and plenty of salt into the pot for a word that looks French or something, probably.
Sous vide.
Sure. Crispy on the outside and no more than medium internally. Bro's cooking Wagyu beef in the air fryer, bro.
Yikes.
And he's freezing it before.
Ah.
Anyways, he's gay.
All right. Are we ready for
They
our
did
ones?
have gay sex.
You had gay sex?
They did.
Who did?
They.
Bill and Frank?
Yeah. Ballpark Frank.
Yeah, bro. That was sick. I appreciate
No,
it.
it wasn't
how...
sick. It was really awkward.
The sex
not
scene?
awkward. Not the situation. The situation itself was like the fact that they were having sex wasn't awkward. Like
no,
the way.
yeah, it was definitely meant to be like awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
I'm
like,
not saying
I
like,
appreciate
man, it felt
how
weird watching these
far-
two men have sex.
Dude, I loved it because I was sitting there with my fiance's.
I loved watching
parents.
these two men have sex.
I did. I loved it. Like, and I was waiting like for a comment to come out or like something, and you know, props. No, like they respected it. It was all good.
Nice.
My dad would
Oh,
not have felt
oh,
the
yeah.
same.
I mean, the best thing about it is that this is probably like the most like one of the most, or at least the most normal like mainstream depiction of gay people. I feel like it's always like a big deal, you know. You know, this is the first gay character in a Disney movie. How many times have we heard that? But you know, it's always like it's either not enough, you know, like in Lightyear, it's like 5 seconds and it's distracting because of that, or like they make a big deal out of it and it like the point of them is becomes that they are gay and not like the relation. Like if this was made by like another company, the show would have probably made a point to be like, yeah, we're gay. Like I don't think they openly like say like I'm gay. He's just like
There,
he's just like
there'd be a scene of like Frank painting over the "Don't Tread on Me" flag with like the gay rainbow.
yeah, there would be like it would be so not subtle. Like bro, these are just humans. They just live their lives.
Yeah, and I think like yeah, that's it. You're right. Like that's it. It doesn't make it like that's not the focus. Isn't that they're gay? It's that they're in love.
they would have like
happen to be, and I think it's the best. I'd recommend like if you want another example of like a movie that handles gay relationships really well, Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic, also does a really great job of. It's not just like it's not his character. It's just a thing that's part of the movie, and I think that this does a great job of doing the same thing.
If it was another like studio or something, Bill would have been playing the piano and Frank would have been like, "Man, you're so good. How'd you get so good?" And Bill would probably just been like, "I'm gay, okay? Leave me alone. I'm gay. Is that what you want to
It's
know?"
also helpful. I like that they were both like, for the most part, pretty masculine men too. I think that like
Yeah, we needed
they
a nice
didn't
bear.
have the like.
We needed a nice bear. Some bear. Inclusivity.
Too much like
Representation.
media representation of gay people. I feel like is just like, oh, they're the overly like you know they gotta have
I know
a
what
high
you-
pitched voice. They gotta be skinny. They've gotta be
And they're
like
flamboyant.
clean
and-
shaven. Exactly. So I feel like having just like two bearded men fucking was epic.
One of them's Nick Offerman, who's like
yes.
who is like known for playing like one of the manliest men on television.
I saw
Yeah, this isn't your Ryan Reynolds
Uh,
gay boy. This is like Nick Offerman. Let's
yeah,
go.
I saw.
Giggling, eating
He was at like a
strawberries, bro.
he was at like a preview for something, or like a what are they called? Like when a movie it like releases and like a bunch of actors like
Premiere.
go watch it before everyone else. He was at a premiere for something, and yeah,
That's
When a
where we're
movie
at tonight.
releases.
yeah, um, and like someone interviewed him, be like because I think that was like a day or two after the episode came out, um, and he was like, everyone, we all saw the Last of Us episode, and you were so good. Like, how did you come across the role? And Nick said something along the lines of like, like they asked for me, and I was like, are you sure? Like, don't you want someone good to like be in the show? And it was like, oh, bro, he's so humble. He did so well in that
It
episode.
was so like
Yes.
insanely well.
I've heard he's incredible in Devs too. That's a show that's on my list. I don't know if any of you guys have watched it.
Devs?
I have not.
It's it's an Apple Plus series, I believe, and it's a like science fiction kind of like near future drama where he's the main he plays the main character. And I've heard he's incredible in that as well.
I'm loving it.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
definitely one of the best episodes of television ever.
I like how in the second episode they like directly mention like infected types from the game, and like these don't exist because they were talking about like
Yeah, and then
spores
she
and stuff.
Mhm.
and then she asked about clickers, and they were like, those are real.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They've done a good job on like
It's
the
just like the
depiction
whole
of like horror with zombie scenes and giving you the suspense.
it's the whole fact that they're like fungi. Like seeing that when they were like going through when they were leaving the quarantine zone, and there's just that infected that's just stuck to a wall that's just complete like it's completely like done, like the infection's run its course, and it's just like fully fungus. Like it's just disturbing seeing it like spread out like that, and the body's all like broke open and deformed.
Decomposing.
And
Definitely gives you a lot of
scary
more-
because it's scary because you can look at literal weird like real world examples, like with ants and stuff.
Mhm.
I literally just watched a TikTok the other day about it. It's literally like the exact same as it is in the show. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, ants in the Amazon be battling that shit.
Like that's what I think that's just what The Last of Us does so well, is that it just feels like something that could happen. Like it feels, if there was going to be a zombie outbreak, it would probably be like some type of fungus taking over our brain.
So my one for this week is The Last of Us. Um, popcorn to Pierce.
I'm trying to think if there is something besides The Last of Us. Since last
I could not think of anything else.
No, I have one. My one is going to be Gotham Knights. Last week I talked a lot of shit about it, I feel like. But I've turned around on it. I think Sam's kind of feeling the same way too.
Definitely.
It's not bad. I kind of really enjoy it. I'm way over leveled for where I am in the story right now. I'm like level 27, and I'm supposed to be like level 18.
Nice.
So like whenever I do story missions, I'm just like, I literally will take down enemies in like 2 hits. I'm like insanely powered. I've been playing so much. It is such like it's not. It's such a weird game, cause like it's a good game, I think, it has issues. I still think I still think traversal is way too slow, and it's really corny. Every mission, or it feels like every cutscene that takes place after a mission where you return to the belfry and you kind of like put together all the pieces of what you just did. It feels like they all end the same way, where it's like, all right, we know what we're doing. Let's go do this, and like epic music's playing as it like zooms out. It's like, yeah, let's go do this, and it's like every single one does that. It's like, bro, it's so corny, and like the dialogue isn't great, but there's just something about it. Like it just scratches the right itches.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll give it to Sam.
Yeah. I definitely second Gotham Knights being more than I expected from it. It's an enjoyable game in the Arkham type of vein of game. My one for the week will also be Batman related because Pierce being on this Batman kick got me on a Batman kick. His fandom is infectious. So I've been revisiting a childhood favorite of mine, Batman Brave and the Bold. I've been kind of watching it in parallel with Batman the Animated Series, just whichever I'm feeling. Different shows, and you know, but maybe not equally great, but they're both fantastic shows. Like Batman the Animated Series, I think is more faithful to what most see as the Batman character, while Batman the Brave and the Bold's a bit sillier. But I love Batman the Brave and the Bold because it's like we learned with is the case with the comics. It's about featuring these characters that are kind of lesser known in the DC universe. For me, it was the introduction of so many characters like Blue Beetle, Black Lightning, Plastic Man, that I probably wouldn't
Shout
know
out
about or
Plastic
care
Man.
about.
I hope we get
otherwise.
Plastic Man in the DCU.
For real.
Booster Gold I
Yeah.
learned about through Brave and the Bold. Um, it's a really fun show, and if it's one that you haven't checked out, it's definitely worth it.
I never watched
yeah.
it when it was. I remember it being on TV, but I never watched it.
I loved it. So good. It was one of those. I think it's a Cartoon Network hidden gem for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm almost.
check out Brave and the Bold.
I just got the season 3 of the animated series.
You should. Yeah, I highly recommend checking out Brave and the Bold next.
I probably will next.
If you're keeping on your
Well,
Batman
I don't know.
kick.
I'm still. I don't know. I do kind of. I probably am going to go to Beyond next, but
Ooh.
Batman
It'll be-
Beyond is technically in the animated series universe, right?
yeah, that's why I'm. Yeah, that's why I'm going to it next.
That's the one Batman animated show I've never watched. I have watched it, but it was just like I watched the first couple episodes, like probably in high school, like later than I should have watched it, and then didn't really stick with it. But that's one that you hear such great things about.
I think I want to at least try to watch like most of the animated universe. At least the Batman shows and the Justice League shows.
I've also heard Young Justice is fantastic. DC animation,
Yes.
good stuff. So yeah, Brave and the Bold. It's different from all those other shows. It's funny. The others are funny too, but this one's funny is the point. And yeah, great palate cleanser. So I'll popcorn to Ethan.
My one this week, aside from The Last of Us, if I have to pick, has got to be the song The Perfect Girl by Moreau, but specifically the Motion Retro Wave remix. Been listening to it like it's a fucking job, bro. Excellent song, goes crazy hard. It's just kind of like futuristic vapor wave. Yeah. Highly recommend.
Nice. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a call and let us know how you think at this number. Put it in. Thank you so much. Have a great day.